Success begins not in some distant future, but in this very moment, in the decisions you make each day, every hour, every minute. It is in the seemingly small choices, the unseen efforts, the quiet discipline that crafts the architecture of a life destined for greatness. If you want to understand why success starts with your daily decisions, you must first realize that those decisions are the building blocks of your character, your habits, and ultimately, your destiny. Imagine your life as a grand mosaic. Each tile is a decision, a choice, to rise early, to speak kindly, to focus deeply, to push beyond fatigue, to learn relentlessly, to say no when distractions come calling. Alone, a single tile may seem insignificant, but together they form a masterpiece. Your daily decisions determine the picture your life paints. Will it be one of triumph, purpose, and fulfillment, or one of regret, missed opportunities, and unrealized potential? Attitude is the soil from which your daily decisions grow. If you cultivate a mindset of positivity, ownership, and relentless determination, your choices will align with your highest vision. The successful understand that attitude is not a fleeting feeling, but a deliberate stance, a commitment to see challenges as opportunities, to meet setbacks with resilience, and to embrace every moment as a chance to grow. Your attitude colors every decision, turning obstacles into stepping stones and fear into fuel. Communication shapes the way you connect with the world and yourself. The words you choose and the stories you tell yourself become the scripts by which you live. Daily decisions include how you speak, to encourage or to criticize, to uplift or to diminish, to inspire or to deflate. The successful use language as a tool for empowerment, crafting affirmations that reinforce belief, and dialogues that build bridges rather than walls. They listen deeply, learning from every voice, and speak with clarity that commands respect and ignites action. Self-discipline is the engine powering your daily decisions. It demands the courage to do what is hard, the patience to persist when motivation wanes, and the integrity to stay true to your commitments. Discipline transforms fleeting inspiration into consistent action. It is the choice to rise before dawn, to prioritize your goals over fleeting pleasures, and to endure discomfort for the sake of long-term victory. Every successful person knows that discipline is not punishment, but freedom. The freedom to live on your terms, to create your future, and to become who you must be. Mindset is the lens through which you interpret every experience, every challenge, every success and failure. The decisions you make daily reflect your mental landscape. Feed your mind with thoughts of growth, possibility, and resilience. Guard it against negativity, fear, and complacency. The successful cultivate a mindset that sees beyond immediate circumstances to the bigger picture, that views failures as lessons, and that believes unwaveringly in their capacity to evolve. Continuous learning fuels your ability to make wise decisions. The commitment to learn each day through books, mentors, reflection, and experiences sharpens your judgment and expands your horizons. The successful never stop growing. Their daily choices include investing in knowledge, seeking feedback, and applying wisdom. This hunger for learning transforms decisions from reactive impulses into strategic moves. Time management is the crucible in which your daily decisions are tested and realized. How you choose to spend your hours reflects your priorities and shapes your trajectory. The successful guard their time fiercely, dedicating it to high-value activities, eliminating distractions, and creating routines that foster productivity and balance. Each moment is a decision, each decision, an investment in your future. Resilience empowers you to make courageous decisions amid adversity. When setbacks arise, and they will, the successful choose persistence over surrender, action over paralysis. Daily decisions to rise, to adapt, to keep moving forward. Forge a spirit unbreakable and a character unshakable. Resilience is not merely enduring hardship, but transforming it into strength and wisdom. Health is the foundation that supports every decision. Your physical and mental vitality influence your energy, focus, and clarity. The successful commit daily to nourishing their bodies with movement, rest, and nutrition, and their minds with mindfulness and positivity. This care sustains their journey and sharpens their capacity to choose wisely. Generosity enriches your life and your decisions by connecting you to something greater than yourself. Giving of time, knowledge, resources creates a flow of abundance that returns in unexpected ways. The successful choose generosity daily, knowing it expands influence, builds relationships, and deepens purpose. Faith in yourself, in your path, and in the unseen forces that guide your journey grounds your decisions in hope and courage. It sustains you through uncertainty, fuels your persistence, and lights your way when clarity falters. The successful cultivate faith daily, embracing the process with trust and openness. Your daily decisions are the currency of your success. They are the conscious acts through which you claim your power, define your identity, and shape your future. To live intentionally is to live with awareness of the profound impact of each choice. Every yes and every no, every action and every pause contributes to the life you build. Rise each day with this sacred understanding. Success is not reserved for the lucky or the gifted. It is the reward of those who master the art of daily decision-making, those who choose growth over comfort, purpose over distraction, courage over fear. Walk forward now with clarity, commitment, and conviction. Own your choices, embrace your power, and craft a life of meaning, impact, and extraordinary achievement. Your success begins here, with your next decision. Make it count. Every decision you make today is a brushstroke on the canvas of your life. A stroke of courage, focus, and intention that brings your vision into clearer, richer detail. The secret is not in grand gestures, but in the quiet, consistent acts of discipline that others overlook or dismiss. It's waking early when comfort begs you to stay in bed. It's choosing to study when distractions call louder. It's saying no to instant gratification to safeguard your future. These daily choices, seemingly small, compound over time to create a masterpiece of success. Understand that discipline is the heartbeat of these decisions. Without it, motivation is fleeting and dreams remain just that, dreams. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It is the muscle you strengthen with each deliberate act of self-control and commitment. Like a sculptor chiseling marble, each choice refines your character, shaping you into the person capable of living the life you envision. Your attitude is the compass guiding your journey. A mindset steeped in positivity, ownership, and resilience transforms obstacles into opportunities. It turns failures into lessons and setbacks into springboards. The successful don't wait for perfect circumstances. They create their reality through relentless optimism and unyielding resolve. Communication is your tool for building the world around you. Speak with clarity and conviction, not just to others, but to yourself. Affirm your worth, declare your goals, and silence the inner critic that seeks to undermine your confidence. Listen deeply to feedback, to wisdom, to the silent voice of intuition guiding your steps. Continuous learning fuels your evolution. Commit to expanding your knowledge daily, whether through books, mentors, or reflection. Every new insight sharpens your decision-making and broadens your perspective, enabling you to navigate complexity with grace and precision. Time is your most precious resource. Guard it vigilantly, prioritizing tasks that align with your highest goals. Establish routines that create rhythm and momentum, turning intention into action effortlessly. Remember, how you spend your hours shapes the trajectory of your life. Resilience empowers you to face adversity with courage. When setbacks occur, respond with strength. Each challenge is a test of your commitment, an opportunity to deepen your resolve and grow beyond previous limits. The resilient are not those untouched by hardship, but those who rise stronger because of it. Nurture your body and mind. They are the vessels through which your success flows. Prioritize health with movement, nutrition, rest, and mindfulness. A sound body and clear mind amplify your capacity for disciplined action and creative problem solving. Generosity enriches your journey, connecting you to a purpose beyond yourself. Give freely your time, knowledge, and support, and you cultivate relationships and opportunities that fuel your progress and deepen your fulfillment. Faith sustains you through uncertainty. Trust in your abilities, your path, and the unseen forces working in your favor. This faith transforms persistence from a burden into a joyful pursuit. Remember, success is crafted in the crucible of daily decisions. Each moment is an invitation to choose greatness. Rise to it. Own it. Let discipline be your guide and commitment your compass. Your future is forged now in the choices you make this very second. Make them count. And watch as your life unfolds. Remarkable, purposeful, unstoppable. The power to change your life lies in these everyday choices, each one. A spark that, when nurtured, ignites a blaze of transformation. It is not grand luck or sudden fortune that shapes destiny, but the accumulation of persistent, deliberate decisions made in the face of uncertainty, fatigue, and distraction. The truly successful understand this secret. Greatness is not an accident. It is the inevitable result of commitment to excellence, day after day. Visualize your life as a garden, where each decision is a seed. Some seeds blossom into towering oaks. Others wither from neglect. The care you give through discipline, focus, and purpose determines the harvest you reap. Tend your garden diligently. Remove the weeds of procrastination, doubt, and negativity. Nourish it with knowledge, action, and faith. This garden will yield fruits far richer than fleeting pleasure, a legacy of impact, fulfillment, and abundance. Your attitude is the sunlight that fuels this growth. A mindset rooted in positivity, ownership, and resilience illuminates your path and energizes your spirit. Choose to see challenges as opportunities. Choose to meet setbacks with courage. Choose to embrace growth even when the journey is hard. This attitude transforms obstacles into stepping stones and makes your daily decisions powerful tools for success. Communication is the water that connects your inner vision with the external world. Speak with intention to yourself and to others. Affirm your strengths, articulate your goals, and listen deeply to feedback and intuition. Words are not mere sounds. They are declarations of reality and formation. Use them to build bridges, inspire action, and reinforce your commitment. Self-discipline is the gardener's hand, steady, strong, and patient. It is the will to do what must be done, especially when desire wanes and temptation calls. Discipline transforms motivation from a fleeting spark into a sustained flame. It is the daily practice of honoring your promises and aligning your actions with your highest purpose. Your mindset is the fertile soil where all this takes root. Cultivate thoughts of possibility, resilience, and growth. Weed out limiting beliefs and fears. Feed your mind with wisdom from books, mentors, and life's lessons. A nourished mind leads to wise decisions, and wise decisions lead to a life of profound success. Time is the precious space in which your garden flourishes. Protect it fiercely. Prioritize tasks that align with your vision and values. Build routines that cultivate consistency and momentum. Remember, every moment invested wisely compounds into exponential progress. Resilience is the weather your garden endures. Storms will come, setbacks, failures, losses, but with resilience, you stand firm, adapt, and grow stronger. View adversity not as punishment, but as nature's way of preparing you for greater growth and harvest. Nurture your body and mind, for they are the vessel carrying your dreams. Regular movement, nourishing food, restful sleep, and mindful reflection are acts of stewardship that sustain your energy and clarity. Generosity enriches your garden by spreading seeds beyond yourself. Give your time, knowledge, and resources freely. This creates a cycle of abundance, connection, and purpose that magnifies your success and fulfillment. Faith is the trust in the unseen gardener, the force that nurtures growth beyond what you can yet perceive. It sustains hope, fuels persistence, and lights the way through uncertainty. Your daily decisions are the seeds of your destiny. Choose them with intention, water them with discipline, and harvest the life you were born to live. Rise now with purpose and passion. Own your power. Make each decision count. and watch as your life blossoms into a legacy of greatness, impact, and unshakable fulfillment. Every moment you face is a crossroads of choice between comfort and challenge, stagnation and growth, settling and striving. The true measure of success is found in these seemingly simple decisions, repeated day after day, shaping the trajectory of your life. It is here, in the crucible of daily choice, that your character is forged and your future is determined. The power of decision-making lies not in perfection, but in persistence. You will stumble. You will falter. Yet the successful are those who rise each time with renewed resolve. They understand that failure is not a verdict, but a teacher, and that resilience grows with every setback embraced rather than avoided. Cultivate a mindset that welcomes growth through adversity. See each challenge as a call to expand your limits, each discomfort as an opportunity to build strength. This perspective turns obstacles into allies, transforming your journey into a continuous ascent toward your highest self. Surround yourself with influences that elevate you, people who inspire, challenge, and hold you accountable. The company you keep becomes the echo chamber of your beliefs and habits. Choose wisely, for your environment profoundly shapes your decisions and, consequently, your destiny. Invest daily in learning not just information, but wisdom that translates into action. Absorb lessons from mentors, books, and your own experiences. Knowledge empowers your decisions, equipping you to navigate complexities with confidence and clarity. Manage your time as the priceless resource it is. Prioritize tasks that align with your purpose. Eliminate distractions and create rhythms that support sustained focus. Time invested intentionally compounds into exponential returns. Honor your body and mind as sacred vessels. Regular movement, balanced nutrition, restorative rest, and mindful practices build the foundation of energy and clarity necessary for disciplined decision-making. Give generously of your time, wisdom, and resources. Generosity connects you to a purpose greater than yourself and cultivates relationships that enrich your journey and amplify your impact. Anchor yourself in unwavering faith in yourself, your vision, and the process. This faith fuels perseverance when the path grows steep and illuminates possibilities beyond immediate sight. Your daily decisions are the sacred threads weaving the tapestry of your life. Choose with intention, act with courage, and persist with resilience. In this sacred dance, success is not a distant dream, but a living reality unfolding with each conscious step. Rise now, empowered by the knowledge that greatness is crafted in the quiet power of daily decisions. Own your journey, shape your destiny, live a life of purpose, passion, and unstoppable momentum. And so, as the sun sets on the chapters of hesitation and doubt, you risen daunted, unwavering, and undeniably powerful. Your success is no longer a distant hope, but a living, breathing reality born from the sacred commitment to your daily decisions. Each choice you make, each moment you seize, each challenge you face with courage is a testament to the unstoppable force within you. Carry this truth forward. Greatness is not granted. It is earned in the silent victories of discipline, in the steadfastness of vision, and in the courage to act when no one is watching. Your life is your message, bold, clear, and profound. Step into your destiny with arms wide open and heart fierce with purpose. The journey ahead is yours to command. Walk it boldly, live it fully, and claim the extraordinary life you were born to lead. This is your moment, your story, your success crafted one decision at a time. Own it, live it, become it. Because without a plan, you are a leaf in the wind, tossed around by other people's priorities, blown off course by distraction, caught in the storms of urgency, chaos, and noise. You think you're busy, but you're not productive. You think you're moving, but you're just spinning in place. And days turn into weeks, weeks into months. And one day you look back and realize you built someone else's dream. You chased someone else's fire. You lived someone else's agenda. Not anymore. To plan your week is to take back your power. It's to reclaim your sovereignty over time. It's the bold, deliberate act of saying, I will not drift. I will design. because your week is your life in miniature. And if you can win the week, you can win your month, your year, your future, your legacy. This is not about rigid schedules or to-do lists that suffocate your soul. This is about living with intention. It's the difference between reaction and creation, between chaos and clarity, between existing and elevating. Ask yourself what happens when you don't plan. You wake up in defense. You spend the day responding instead of leading. Every email, every text, every unexpected call hijacks your energy. The urgent devours the important. You run around putting out fires, never stopping to ask if the fire should be there in the first place. But when you plan, you shift the battlefield. You set the terms. You declare, this is what matters. This is what moves the needle. This is what I will give my life to this week. And that declaration, that commitment, that is the beginning of transformation. Because a life of greatness is not built in years, it's built in weeks, compounded with precision. You don't stumble into clarity, you schedule it. You don't drift into discipline, you design it. You don't discover success, you construct it, brick by brick, decision by decision, week by intentional week. Planning your week is not a small thing. It is a sacred thing. It is the weekly ceremony where you align your actions with your vision, where you prune distractions and plant priorities, where you listen to the whispers of your deepest goals before the world starts shouting. Because life will always offer you someone else's plan, someone else's urgency, someone else's crisis. But if you do not decide what matters, something else will. And what gets scheduled gets done. What gets neglected gets lost. And what gets ignored long enough becomes regret. So why plan your week? Because without it, you are hoping for progress instead of engineering it. And hope is not a strategy. You cannot delegate your destiny to chance. You must grab it, shape it, frame it, with time blocks and quiet hours and goals that make your hands shake a little. Because here's the truth. What you do this week matters. Not someday, not later. Now, this week contains seeds of your future, decisions that echo beyond the calendar, moments that multiply, conversations that shift the tide, habits that compound, choices that either elevate your life or quietly destroy it. And the most dangerous thing about an unplanned week, it feels normal. It feels harmless. But it is the slow erosion of your potential disguised as just another Monday. When you don't plan, you miss the unseen. You miss the margin for magic. You miss the depth, the momentum, the alignment. You miss the rare feeling of looking at your life and knowing this is no accident. This was crafted. So you sit down, you light a candle, you turn off the noise. You open your journal, your calendar, your mind, and you ask, what matters most this week? What must move forward? Who do I want to become by Sunday? That moment is not logistical, it is spiritual. It is not task management. It is identity formation. Because every week you plan with purpose. You are shaping a person who leads, not follows, who executes, not excuses, who builds, not begs. And you don't just plan your week. You plan your energy. You protect your focus. You define your battles. You say no to 100 things that don't deserve your breath, so you can say yes to the few that do. Because freedom is not the absence of structure. It is the presence of purpose. And without a plan, freedom becomes slavery to everyone else's urgency. So make the plan, not because you'll follow it perfectly, but because the act of planning makes you powerful. It pulls your dreams out of the clouds and into your hands. It turns wishes into strategies, ideas into execution, life into legacy. And every week you plan with precision. You are saying one thing loud and clear to the universe. I'm not here to react. I'm here to rise. You see, a week without a plan is a canvas handed to chaos. And chaos will paint it fast with anxiety, with distraction, with mediocrity dressed up as productivity. But when you plan, when you take the time to pause, to breathe, to lay down your intentions, something shifts. The fog begins to clear. You stop reacting and start directing. You stop drifting and start deciding. And it's not just about goal sets, about your identity. Every week you plan, you are choosing who you are becoming. Not just what you'll do, but what you'll become. Because we don't become disciplined by accident. We don't stumble into clarity. We architect our transformation one plan, one habit, 1 hour at a time. You want to change your life? Don't wait for a year to pass. Change your week. Because weeks are where the war is won. Not in the grand vision boards, not in the someday dreams, but in the Tuesday morning choices. The Friday follow-through. The Sunday night silence where you prepare not just your tasks, but your state. And yes, there will be disruptions. There will be curveballs, breakdowns, surprises. That's life. But the power of a planned week isn't in rigidity, it's in resilience. You don't plan so that everything goes perfectly. You plan so that when it doesn't, you're not lost, you're anchored. You have a compass. You have direction. You have values guiding your schedule, not just volume filling it. Because busy is not the badge. Efficient is not the goal. Effective is. Aligned is. On purpose is. And when your week is on purpose, your life follows suit. When you plan your week, you start to notice something else, something deeper. Your time begins to reflect your truth. Your days begin to echo your desires. Your calendar becomes a mirror of your character. And if you look at your week and don't like what you see, good. Now you know what needs to change. Your week reveals your real priorities, not the ones you post, but the ones you practice. And every Sunday night, you sit down to plan. You get to choose again. Not out of guilt, not out of pressure, but out of power. The power to align your time with your truth. The power to take back your days from distraction. The power to live by design, not by default. This is how leaders are made. This is how vision is realized. This is how goals stop being wishes and become wins. One planned week at a time. And I don't care how ambitious your vision is, if it's not on your calendar, it's not in your future. You don't need more inspiration. You need implementation. And implementation lives in your weekly plan. You want to launch the book, the business, the body transformation? It begins with a block of time. It begins with a weekly meeting with yourself that becomes sacred. Because if you won't meet with yourself, why should the world? If you won't take your goals seriously, why should anyone else? You must decide that your calendar is not just a record of what's happening. It is a contract with your future. Every hour you claim is a brick in the foundation of your dream. Every boundary you enforce is a wall protecting your greatness. Every task aligned with your vision is a vote for your destiny. And the greatest tragedy is not running out of time. It's never owning the time you had. It's letting your week be shaped by noise and nonsense when it could have been a masterpiece. So do not underestimate this. Do not let another Sunday slide by. Do not let another week pass you by without a plan to own it, use it, stretch it, and transform it into progress. Because while others coast through their weeks half awake, you will command yours fully alive. And this isn't just about scheduling, it's about spiritual alignment. Planning your week is the quiet rebellion against a world addicted to noise. It's your stand against the tyranny of the urgent. It's how you declare, I am not a prisoner of time. I am its master. You want to build wealth? Build it in your time before your bank account. Because how you spend your hours is how you spend your life. And if your week is filled with distractions, obligations, meetings that drain you, tasks that numb you, and priorities that belong to someone else, you don't need more time. You need more intention. Because 1 hour of focused work on what matters will always outperform 10 hours of motion without meaning. But here's the thing. They won't teach you this in school. They won't praise you for it on social media. No one will applaud your Sunday night planning session. No one will post a comment on your calendar saying, look at that clarity. but the results will speak for themselves. The peace you feel when Monday hits and you already know what matters. The confidence you carry into every conversation because you've already decided your direction. The momentum that builds, not by accident, but by deliberate design week after week. That's the reward. Peace, power, progress, and the joy of knowing that you are no longer reacting to life. You are creating it. You are no longer waiting for your big break. You are breaking your big vision into small weekly wins. You are no longer trapped in the loop of someday, because your someday lives in this week. That book you want to write? This week, write a page. That business you want to launch? This week, make the first call. That body you want to transform? This week, schedule the workouts. This is how it happens. Not in grand resolutions, but in the sacred act of planning the next 7 days with precision, clarity, and fire in your soul. You can't control every outcome, but you can control how you prepare. And when preparation becomes a ritual, victory becomes predictable. When you start planning like your life depends on it, it begins to elevate. Because the mind, once given structure, becomes a weapon. The spirit, once given clarity, becomes a flame. The life, once given vision, becomes unshakable. This is how you rise. This is how you build something that lasts. This is how you win the war of Timino, by working harder, but by planning smarter. By claiming every hour before the world claims it for you. By asking not just, what must I do, but who must I become? And aligning your time not just with tasks, but with transformation. This is your power. Not in how fast you run, but in how focused your direction is. Not in how much you do, but in how aligned it all is with who you are becoming. And that's the final secret. When you plan your week with clarity, consistency, and courage, you are not just designing your schedule. You are designing yourself, week by week, brick by brick, breath by breath, until one day you look in the mirror and realize you didn't just build a life, you forged a legacy. And in that moment, standing in the mirror of your own reflection, you won't see luck. You'll see choice. Not fate, not randomness, but deliberate design. The life you're living is the result of the weeks you took seriously, the hours you defended, the mornings you owned, the evenings you reclaimed from endless distraction. Because life doesn't hand you clarity, it rewards you for creating it. And every time you sit down to plan your week, you are not just organizing tasks, you are placing anchors in your soul. Anchors that hold firm when the wind picks up. Anchors that keep you steady when everything around you wants to pull you into their chaos. That's what planning does. It makes you dangerous to distraction. It makes you immune to urgency. It makes you unavailable to everything that doesn't serve your purpose. And no, you won't always feel like it. There will be days when planning feels tedious. Weeks when it feels pointless. Seasons when the plan doesn't go how you wrote it. But that's not a reason to stop, it's a reason to sharpen. Because planning is not about predicting the future. It's about preparing your character for it. And character is what builds when discipline meets intention. Planning your week is how you practice discipline in private so you can walk in destiny in public. It's how you train your spirit to show up, even when motivation doesn't. It's how you prove first to yourself, then to the world that you are not just a dreamer. You are a builder of days, a master of energy, a steward of time, a leader of self. Because if you cannot lead yourself through a week, how can you lead a team, a family, a mission, a legacy? You must begin here, with the hours no one sees, with the minutes no one praises, with the focus no one understands. That is where greatness is formed, not on the stage, but in the schedule, not in the results, but in the routines. And what you repeat, you reinforce. So when you sit down to plan, you're not just deciding what you'll do. You're reinforcing who you are. And week by week, the gap between where you are and where you want to be begins to close. Not because time is magical, But because your time is now managed by mission, you've declared war on waste. You've declared peace on your purpose. And the chaos, it still knocks, but you no longer answer. You no longer bow to every ping, every request, every tempting detour. You've got a plan, and your plan has power because it's built on clarity, fueled by conviction, driven by design. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a purposeful one that aligns your minutes with your mission, your calendar with your calling, your week with your why. And when that alignment happens, your confidence soars, your pace becomes sustainable, your progress compounds, your life transforms, not because you waited for the world to give you direction, but because you gave it to yourself. So rise up. Don't just go into your week hoping it'll go well. Make it go well. Decide what matters. Design what matters. And do what matters. Because if you can win the week, you can win anything. And when you win enough weeks in a row, you stop chasing success. Because success starts chasing you. It shows up in the discipline you've built, in the clarity you now command, in the results that feel effortless, not because they are easy, but because you've become someone who earns them every week without compromise. You start to notice the shift. Opportunities begin to arrive, not because the universe changed, but because you did. You stopped waiting for the right time, and you made time right. You stopped saying someday and started saying this week. That dream that felt impossible 6 months ago, now it's moving. Now it's breathing. Now it's forming shape. Why? Because you showed up every Monday, every morning, every minute that mattered. And that consistency becomes a force the world can't ignore. The person who plans their week with precision becomes the person who commands their future with power. Because now, you don't just know what you're doing, you know why you're doing it. That why is your engine. That plan is your map. And your actions are no longer scattered, they're stacked, layered, strategic, purposeful. You are not just busy. You are building. Every task aligned, every goal framed, every habit rooted. And others will ask you, how do you do it? How do you stay so focused? How do you keep showing up with such clarity when the rest of us are drowning in distraction? And you'll smile, not because it's magic, not because it's luck, but because you made a decision they didn't. You planned your week. You didn't wait for life to slow down. You didn't wait for perfect timing. You didn't wait for permission. You sat down. You looked ahead. You put your values on paper and your priorities in order. And now you move differently. Not faster, smarter, not louder, clearer, not perfect, precise. You have become what few dare to be, deliberate. You are now the one with a vision, with a direction, with boundaries that protect your time like a fortress, with rituals that lock in your strength like steel. You don't hope for momentum anymore. You generate it. You don't chase balance, you design it. You don't fear the week, you lead it. And in leading your week, you begin to lead your life. And in leading your life, you begin to change your world. This is not small work. This is not routine management. This is life mastery. And it begins every week with a quiet decision. I will live this week with intention. I will not drift. I will not delay. I will not dim my light for convenience. You are not just managing tasks. You are awakening your power. You are rising with vision. You are choosing excellence where most settle for average. And the best part, you can start anytime. It doesn't matter how chaotic last week was, how many times you failed before, how overwhelmed you feel right now. All that matters is the next hour, the next choice, the next page in your planner, the next block of time you reclaim. And from that one moment of clarity, a new week begins. And with it, a new you.